Hi students, today we are going to learn the third unit, that is embedded system design approaches and development. There are different types of approaches which are easy to develop the embedded system design. So first of all, one of the important tool is integrated development environment, IDE, integrated development environment. This is the a software tool which is used to design the embedded design. So IDE is a software which has text editor, cross compiler, linker and debugger. It is the software which is used to compile, link the program and debug the programs and text editors. If you write the any programs, if there is any errors, these are edited by using the text editor. If you want to run the program, it can be used by using the cross compiler, and this program which is linked into the different software by using the linker. If you found any errors, and these errors can be rectified by using the debugger. So these are the integrated development environment, and it consisting of simulators with editors, assemblers, emulators and logic analyzers and EEPROM. Editors which are used to edit the programs, and compilers which are used to compile the programs. Compiling means if you are writing any program in the system, this program can be compiled by using the compilers, and if you want to assemble this program into the another device, these can be used by using the assemblers, and these are which are used in the emulators which are used to compare all the errors, and these emulators which are also used for the rectifying the errors. So this is the emulators. And logic analyzers, if you are writing any logics, and these logics can be used by using the logic analyzers and EEPROM. If you are writing any wrong in the program, these can be rectified by using the EEPROM. And this IDE which is having the different types of steps there to verify the target system, and this design which is divided into many sub parts. This IDE environment which is divided into some sub parts there. The Keil Microvision 3 IDE for 8051. The Keil Microvision 3 IDE for 8051. This Keil Microvision 3 is licensed IDE tool from Keil Software. This is the licensed Keil software from the Microvision 3, and which is used in the different types. They are 8051 microcontrollers based on embedded firmware development, and which is used to execute the program in the Microvision 3. There are different types to execute the program in the system. Is the first step is to start with the IDE. First execute the Microvision3.exe. First step is to start with IDE. First execute the program Microvision3 in .exe. After that, the next step is it contains various menu options. There are file, edit, debug, project, showing files, register, view, books and functions tab, and an output window. This Microvision 3 IDE which is having the different tools. They are file, edit, debug, project, showing files, register, view, books and functions tab, and an output window. By choosing the dictionary to save the program from the pop-up dialog. The next step is after choosing the dictionary to save the project from the pop-up dialog. That means after writing the program in the system, so the project has to be saved by using the pop-up dialog box, and by choosing the dictionary. Suppose if you want to save in desktop, you have to choose the dictionary. If you want to save into the C drive, so we have to choose that dictionary. So particular, after choosing the particular dictionary, to save the project from the pop-up dialog, the next step is the project is saved with extension dot microvision 2. After saving the program into the particular dictionary, next step is the project is saved with extension dot microvision 2, and the dialog box is used to list out all the vendors for 8051 family microcontroller. And the dialog box is used to list out all the vendors for 8051 family microcontroller supported by IDE. These are the different types. First step is to start with IDE. First execute the program microvision3.exe, and the next step is choose the different options which are in the software. They are file, edit, debug, project, showing files, register view, books and functions tab, and an output window. After that, choosing the different options, you have to write the program, and that program can be saved in the particular dictionary. After saving the particular project, and this can be saved with extension dot microvision 2, extension dot microvision 2, and this dialog box list out all the vendors for 8051 family. So this dialog box which is to list out all the vendors for 8051 microcontroller family. The next step is select a manufacturer from the chip or a design Atmel. That is Atmel. You have to select the Atmel manufacturer. The particular program can be designed by using only the Atmel, and also select the different types of devices. Also select the exact part number of the devices which are used as the target processor from the design. Now select the target processor part number, that is 8089C51. After selecting the Atmel, so we are selecting the different target processors, and these process, in this process we have to select the 8089C51, 8089C51. After that, click on OK to process selected target into the CPU. After selecting the 8089C51 microprocessor, and click on the OK and proceed after selecting the target CPU. After selecting the target CPU, and target group with the name target 1 is automatically generated under the file section of the project window. Under the file section of the project window. After selecting the manufacturer, the manufacturer is Atmel. In this Atmel, you have to select the particular target processor, that is Atmel. Target processor, that is 8089C51. After selecting the target processor, click on OK to proceed the target, and it is can be used by the CPU. And the next step is configuring the target. Configuring means we are configuring the different types of tools which are used in the 8089C51 target microprocessor, and select different types of options which are used in the Atmel. That is, output tab has the settings for output file generation from the source code. The source file can be converted into a executable machine code. The source file can be converted into a executable executable machine code or a library file. Then click on the create hex file. Click on the create hex file option and select the target processor. After selecting the particular configuring the target, you have to select the project menu. After that, the output tab has the settings for output file generation from the source code. The source file can be converted into an executable machine code or a library file. Click on create hex file option and select the target processor After that, by selecting the target processor, the conversion of languages embedded C to machine language after selecting the target processor is the conversion of the languages embedded C to machine language. This step is called cross compilation. The step is called cross compilation means selecting the target process and then it is converting of embedded C into machine language. Converting of embedded C language into machine language is known as cross compilation. And then click on project tab and select the rebuild all target files. Select rebuild all target files. The output of cross compilation for the hello world, the application is given in the image. We are giving the one word, that is hello world. That application is in the given image. And we having the after that we have to debug the particular target program. Debugging firmware is the process of monitoring the program flow. Debugging firmware is the process of monitoring the program flow, various registers and memory contents while the firmware is executed. Debugging firmware is the process of monitoring the program flow, various registers and memory contents while the firmware is executed. There are two methods which are used to debug the firmware. They are using breakpoints and simulators, and then second one is hardware level debugging. These debugging which is having the different types of firmware methods. They are using breakpoints and simulators. Second method is hardware level debugging. Simulator based debugging. First one is, there are different two types. The first method is simulator based debugging. What is simulator? Means the hardware tools which are simulating into the software, which are converted into the software by using the simulators. For simulator based debugging, select the option, that is the debug tab for the options for target. In the file menu, select the debugging and use the simulator. From the debug tab, and option is target, and then insert the breakpoint in the code line of the source program where debugging needs to be started. To start debugging, select the option start or stop debugging section from the debug menu. To start debugging, select the option, that is start or stop debugging session from the debug menu. After that, the project window can be switched in between files section and register section. File section and register section to find out the changes happening to various registers and executing each line of code. Project window can be switched in between file section and register section. To find out the changes, what happening the various registers on executing each line of the code. Each line of the code. To start debugging, select the option start or stop. To start debugging, select the option start or stop. Debug section from the debug menu. Debug section from the debug menu. After that, these are selected in the project window, that is switched in between file section and register section. File section and register section. To find out the changes happening to various registers on executing each line of code, that is the changes which are verified by using the executing each line of the code which are used in the register section. These are all the we assemble the program into the assembler, and if you want to deassemble the any program, and this can be used by using the deassembly view. This is the deassemble. If you want to deassemble any code, deassemble the any tools, deassemble the any target process, these can be used by using the deassemblers, and this can be used by using the workbook sheet, that is the assembler programs which are used in the workbook place, and these memories which are stored in the different address menu. If you want to save the target process, and these can be saved into the different addresses, that is the memory which can be stored in the different addresses menus. There memory window for memory inspection in firmware debugging, that means that memory which can be stored in the particular address only. So we are selecting the different types of memories. And these memories can be watch and call stack window for debugging. Watch and call stack window for debugging. That means if you are written the any programs, these can be watched by using the watch and call stack window. Which is used to reduce the clock timings, and after verifying the clock timing, this can be debugged by using the debugging. And next one is simulating peripherals and interrupts. Simulating peripherals and interrupts. What are the peripheral? Peripheral ports are port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3. These are all the peripheral ports. What are the interrupts? Which are used in the microprocess? What are the peripherals which are used in the microprocess? Peripherals are port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3. These are all the peripheral ports, and interrupts which are used the ISFS, interrupt 0, interrupt 1, interrupt 0, interrupt 3. The Keil software is supported for simulating various peripherals like ports, and Keil software consisting of 4 ports. They are port pins, input pins. Port pins in SFR, it should be 1. If SFR bit is set to 1, then the corresponding port pin can be changed to either logic 0 or logic 1. If the SFR bit is set to 1, the corresponding port pin can be changed to either logic 0 or logic 1. To reset CPU option under the peripheral tab, it is used for the resetting the firmware execution. resetting the firmware execution. These are all the different peripheral floats and interrupts which are used in the Micro Vision 3. Simulating peripherals and interrupts. The firmware execution can be used to assemble the different programs into the assembly window, and exit point is seen where the application was looping. After that, select the serial XMIT interrupts and enable the global interrupt enable GIE, global interrupt enable GIE, and transmit interrupts, global interrupt enable and transmit interrupt. The interrupts which are used in the MicroVision 3 dot is interrupt, global interrupt enable, and transmit interrupt. These are all the interrupts which are used in the MicroVision 3 transmitter. That is, these are the interrupts which are used in the MicroVision 3. And the peripherals which can be used in the application is the output of the hello world application is given in the image. The output of the hello world which is saved in the image form. So we are given the word, so that can be saved into the image, and this image can be viewed by using the different captures there. It captures whether the data is going through the serial port while simulation, whether the data is going through serial port, while simulation. The hello world which is saved in the image, and it captures and verifies the data if it is going through the serial port while simulation. Next one, target level firmware debugging. The target level hardware debugging is used for debugging the firmware language in target port. This technique is also known as circuit debugging. Or emulsion. The target level hardware debugging is used for debugging the firmware language in the target board. That is, the techniques which are also used in the circuit debugging or emulsion. For target level debugging with the key, the target port should be connected to the development machine. Select the debug option from the options for target and change use simulator to use. Select the debug option from the options for target, change use simulator to use. Next step is writing the ISR in embedded C. Interrupt service routine. ISR means interrupt service routine, which is used in the embedded C. That is by using the C51 cross compiler from Keil supports. The implementation of interrupt service routine is in embedded C. The general notation for ISR in C51 cross compiler is C51 cross compiler is void ISR underscore name brackets void interrupt braces INTR underscore no using register REG underscore bank. After that, write the body for ISR. The keel supports 32 ISRs from interrupt number 0 to 31. This keel software which supports the 32 interrupt service routines from the 0 to 31. The interrupt number 0 corresponds to the external interrupt 0. The interrupt number 0 corresponds to the external interrupt 0. The interrupt 0. The interrupt number 1 corresponds to timer 0 interrupt. Interrupt number 2 corresponds to external interrupt. Interrupt number 1 and 3 corresponds to timer 1 interrupt. Interrupt number 4 corresponds to serial interrupt. The different interrupts which are used in the C51 compiler from keel supports their interrupt 0 to 31. Interrupt 0 corresponds to external interrupt 0. Interrupt 1 corresponds to timer 0 interrupt. Interrupt 2 corresponds to external interrupt. Interrupt 1 and 3 corresponds to timer 1 interrupt. And interrupt 4 corresponds to serial interrupts. The types of files generated and cross compilation. Types of files generated and cross compilation. Cross compilation means conversion of Microvision's embedded C into the machine code language. Embedded C language into the machine language. List the files, that is .lst. List the files in .lst. The list file is generated in the cross compilation process. The list file is generated in the cross compilation process. It contains information about the cross compilation process like cross compiler details. The list file generated contains the following sections: page header and command line. The list file generated contains the following sections like page header and command line. Page header and command line. The types of files generated on cross compilation is processor output file. Processor output file. The processor output file is generated during cross compilation. The processor output file is generated during cross compilation, and the processor output file is used for verifying the operation of macros and conditional preprocessor directives. Conditional preprocessor directives. File extensions of preprocessor output file is cross compiler dependent. File extension of preprocessor output file is cross compiler dependent. Cross compiler dependent. So these can be saved into the .obj file. This can be saved into the object file, that is .obj file. .obj file. Each source module translates the various embedded C or assembly instructions and other directives present in the module to an object. Present in the module to an object, that is in the .obj file. And then OMF51 or OMF52 are the two project file formats supported by C51 cross compiler. The object file deals with the data records for symbolic information, that is object code and debugging. Object code and debugging. After selecting the pre-process, it can be verified by using the macros and conditional processor, and this can all be saved into the extension of the cross compiler independent, and this can be saved into the .obj file. This .obj file which translates the various embedded C or assembly instructions and the directives present in the model to an object file by using the OMF51 or OMF52. And these are used with the different data codes, symbolics, information object code and debugging. The remaining process can be explained in the next section.